All right, it is 6:30. Welcome to our home viewers. My name is Kevin McAlilly. Welcome to the Wilde Village Board. Today we have almost everyone here. I'd like to go ahead and get our meeting started. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the agenda.
Okay, I'd like to make an amendment to consider the funding request from Wilde Lake Middle School when she shows up at about a quarter of 8.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Fine.
Any opposed? All right, so there has been one additional item to the agenda. Where should we add that, Preston? Is that going to be at the end of the
Wilde Middle School, well, the emails that we had from Van said she could be here around 7:40. She's not here now. No. So, thank you.
So give her some time.
Yeah, you can take them.
Okay, add her as number 3 in the order of business. All right. Next on the agenda, approval of the minutes from October 19th, 2015. Please, a motion.
I make a motion because they were great.
Wow.
Do I have a second? Second. And it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Oh, okay. First up on the agenda, our special guest, Corporal James Zamillo. He's with the Howard County Police Department, the Pathway Patrol Unit.
Hey, you sir.
Excellent. Good to see you.
Thank you all for having me. It's been a while since I've been here. I was the community resource officer for Wilde Lake from 2010 to 2012. We're trying to make it a point to come out and let everybody know about the new unit the police department has. It's the Pathway Patrol Unit. Our responsibility is the 90 miles of pathway that Columbia has. We're cross-trained in mountain bike as well as electric motorcycle. The electric motorcycles are 100% electric. They are quiet, and they allow us to maneuver and cover more ground than what a traditional bicycle would. Part of the reason why we're here is we want to let everybody know in the village force to see if they would be able to put something out to the community to let them know how to get in contact with us. Something that's not really an emergency, but they're finding if they're, if they use the path for recreation, whether it's walking their dogs, bicycling, if they come in contact with something or they're seeing something that's out of the ordinary on the regular, this kind of lets us know how to allocate our resources. My business card I put on the table. It's either the phone number there and they can get in touch with us that way, or email. If there's an issue that people are finding on the pathway, email us and then we will know how to address it. We're part of our community outreach division, so we're not 100% enforcement oriented. If we see something, we're going to address it. We revolve around crime trends. So whereas most recently you saw with the influx of robberies at Lake Elkhorn, we were deployed to that area and assisted robbery investigations to whether it was contacting individuals or making observations of what we saw, witnesses that may not have been, that detectives had not had contact with, and we were able to find for them. You guys are our eyes and ears. We can't be out there 100% of the time. You guys live here, you know what's normal for your community. So if you see something, please contact us because that's the only way it's going to be able to be addressed. If you guys have any concerns or questions, I can field those tonight as well.
So can we publish the information that's on your card within our newsletter?
Yep, absolutely.
And on our website? Okay.
Absolutely.
Great. Okay.
Hi, we're in the process of working with CA to revise the fishing rules and regulations at Wilde Lake.
Okay.
And so a lot of the residents have concerns about folks fishing where they're not supposed to be. There's fishing zones and non-fishing zones. So once those rules are revised and new maps have been published? Is that something we should bring to you and you can
We can-
hope to make sure folks are fishing in no fishing zones that you approach them?
We can educate on that if it's a CA rule. I'm not sure if it's a county ordinance.
No, I don't think.
I don't think it's a county ordinance, so we can't really enforce CA rules. However, what we can do is we work hand in hand with Sean Harbaugh.
Yes.
He's a great resource for us.
He's the one that we're working with to
Okay.
revise that. I was just wondering, if you guys are going around the pathway and you see somebody fishing in a no fishing zone, are you able to approach them and say, hey,
Oh,
you're not supposed to
absolutely.
fish here? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, I mean, we're currently doing that now with, funny you should bring that up, dogs not on leashes. So, yeah, it's a huge, I guess, issue that has been brought to our attention, and now we're doing it where we see a dog's not on a leash, and we'll make contact with the owner and just let them know, and, we'll forward it to animal control, because they can actually enforce stuff like that. But our whole primary focus of our job is to go out there and talk to people. Okay, let them know why we're here, explain, even if it's something about police procedure that they have questions with, that's why we're out there to try and explain that, to kind of break down that barrier. When I was a CRO here, being able to walk in the community and being able to ride my bike in the community was a huge barrier. It seemed like that car window was always a barrier for people not wanting to come up and talk to you. So that's why we're here. We're also trying to, in the wintertime, we want to try and do workshops, like bike workshops with the community, get the school involved. So I'll be reaching out to you guys to see about doing that. And we're going to continue doing bike with the cop as soon as that warmer weather comes in.
So with a dog on the leash, when you report the animal control, are you reporting with the owner's information?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And then animal control will send a letter, and then I believe the way the code's written, 3 or more times the dog is considered a nuisance, and then they can take enforcement action.
Anyone, questions?
So you've been in contact with the Howard Bicycle Advocacy Group, and
Yep, we work with them. A guy that's assigned to our unit, Russ Burris, he's huge in the cycling community. He's actually an international police mountain biking instructor. He's a mechanic, and he has the resources that he has just from, when he's at work, he bikes all the time with us, but then when he's off, he's also biking. So I don't know what I need those like days off to let my legs recover. So I don't know where he gets his recovery from, but the biking advocates of Howard County, they really stepped up with promoting the bike with the top for us.
and you talked to Jennifer Lee, at Office on Aging. Kevin and I were in something called Cycle to Health.
Okay.
Which basically, it's out of the Office on Aging.
No,
So there's a bunch of aging people there.
No, we can. I mean, that's something that we could definitely connect with. I think that would be a great program. Even in the wintertime, we could do, throw some ideas at us and we could put something together. I mean, that would be, these cold months, we're trying to find reasons to get indoors. But no, I mean, that is a resource I didn't know about, which is awesome. And I think,
I'll send your information to Jennifer.
okay. And that was, what was the
Her
name?
name is Jennifer Lee,
Okay.
J. Lee at the Howard County. The same,
So,
so Jennifer Lee and it's J. Lee
Okay.
is her email.
And what office again was that?
Office on Aging.
Okay.
She's kind of, I guess, the coordinator for the
Bike to health.
Cycle to Health.
Cycle to health. Okay.
Number 2.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
she has a huge email list of cyclists
Okay.
that age through the process, so to speak, in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be awesome. In fact, I'll do that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much. There's a resident question.
Can you give me an idea of your staff ratio? Like, I honestly don't know how many Howard County police officers are in the county versus how many are being dedicated to this program, or get an idea of like, what's the percentage of staff? And obviously, I'm assuming in the warmer months, the numbers may be higher. I'm just trying to get an
No,
idea of what's
we're about 480 officers. That's going from
in the county.
going
Okay.
everything from your police officer all the way up to the chief. It's
Okay.
assigned to detectives. It's assigned, various components, management services that control our fleet.
So would you say like 10% or maybe 40 or 50?
I don't do math. I became a cop, so I
I'm trying to
where
understand.
there's seven
How many
officers
are we-
assigned to pathway patrol.
7.
So it's a sergeant, I'm the corporal, and then officers as
Well,
well.
that's helpful. I
And
mean,
then,
just trying to
and
understand.
we do rotating shifts.
'Cause I saw I was in Oakland Mills, and
Mhm.
it was probably 5, it might have been your whole crew. There was like at least 5 on
We usually ride
bicycles.
together.
Yeah, on Sunday, this
Okay.
past Sunday.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's
Okay,
I mean, it's been a great program. We've actually seen a lot of impact.
thank you. I don't want to take more time. I was
No,
just trying to get
no.
an idea of the percentage of,
Oh, I don't do percentages. No.
we just gave 7 out of 480.
Where were you when I had math?
7 out of 480. You're in an elite group.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you, what time do you guys patrol? Just random time of the day?
No, we split up shifts, so the sergeant will supervise 3 officers, so it'll be a sergeant and 3 officers, and they'll work opposite of me, and I'll supervise another shift of myself and 2 other officers. And we will rotate day and evening. One shift will be on our day work, which is 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., and then the second shift will come in between the hours of start at 1 till 11. We try not to put that in, publicize that information because we don't want the criminals to kind of adapt to our hours. Yeah. But with everything, our hours do change. So if we're seeing a spike in crime during certain hours, we will adapt to that, and we will go out and focus on that time. We're also there's overtime assignments where it's for biking, and they will put us out there in certain areas in response to community concerns.
Any additional questions?
So I know winter's coming. What do you have any advice to give to residents listening to the live stream in terms of preventing break-ins and stuff? Because I know usually during the winter people leave their car, they go to warm their car,
Right.
they will go inside the house and
Right.
come back it's gone or something.
Right.
is
I mean, I would definitely not leave your car running. Leaving your car running in a driveway is just, it's like a welcome sign, like come and take me. If you haven't, if you want to do that, you don't want to get in a car, invest $100 some odd in that, and an auto start. It allows you to start the vehicle, and you can't manipulate the transmission, put it in gear. The other thing is, if you're going out of town, always alert your neighbors. Let them know that you're going to be going out of town. Have lights on the timer, and make sure that you're not leaving newspapers piled up for days in your driveway. That's kind of like a sign, or especially with the holidays coming up with gifts. I suggest take your big 80-inch TV box that you may have and maybe fold that up, put it in your car, and bring it to the dumpster. So people riding down the road don't see that you just got the brand new 4K TV. And it kind of targets, they'll target your home based on that.
That's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
All the boxes.
Get into the neighbor.
Jeremy.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. It seems like there's been an appearance of an increase in events of late, whether it's a simple break-in or the Lake Elkhorn. Statistically, is it still pretty standard within our norms, or are we seeing a shift?
Burglaries are down, which is you're breaking and entering into homes. Robberies, which is where I came from. I was detected in robbery for 4 years. And they're up, but our closure rate's also up. So robberies are occurring. But you also have to look at our robbery numbers are also up because it'll meet the crime classification for robbery. If say somebody goes into Sears and they take a tool set, and going out the door they push a loss prevention employee, or they they push clerk without paying for the item. You've now went from a simple shoplifting to a robbery. So you're going to see the stats rise, especially during the holidays. You're going to see that because more and more the thefts are becoming more aggressive. We're responding to that by putting officers in shopping centers during those peak shopping seasons. The robberies are getting closed. The Lake Elkhorn series was closed with arrests. We actually assisted in the apprehension of those individuals. We're also seeing there's a current trend now of pizza delivery robberies over off Little Patuxent Parkway. And I know we're helping out robbery with those cases. And a robbery unit is investigating those. Any commercial robbery, a robbery detective's going to handle, and they're going to come out. So robberies are up, but the closures are there. Burglaries are down. Those are your main quality of life issues.
Sure. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming
Thank
out.
you.
You're more than welcome to stay, but I know you got things to do.
I am going to go home but I appreciate it. Please, if you guys have questions, contact me. My information's up there. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Let's get out on the trail.
Absolutely. All right, next on the agenda, Mr. Jeremy Sharpenberg and the Columbia Association Energy Department, accompanied by Paul Cole. It's good to see both of you guys again.
Yes, no, indeed. Thank you very much for your time this evening. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update on some events that have been happening around energy and sustainability programs that CA offers to the community. So about a year and a half ago, we launched our Home Performance with Energy Star program, basically working with Retrofit Baltimore as a partner to engage and empower homeowners in Columbia to, one, get an energy audit of their home, and two, to help them make smart decisions around what measures they take to improve the energy efficiency of their home, primarily focusing on insulation and air sealing of the home, and working closely with the contractors and providing a third party within that interaction to help make sure homeowners are comfortable with what's happening. This past spring, we expanded that program to include renewable energy. So we launched a pilot in April around Earth Day to allow homeowners to participate in a discount installation program through Retrofit Baltimore as well, where there's about a 25% savings on a solar install for their home. We had about 15 homeowners participate in that process. They're working their way through now. We actually have our first resident, Alan Grad, actually had a system installed on his roof recently. So we have one that's come all the way through. We did the formal broad launch of the program in August in Oakland Mills. We had a big kickoff meeting. We had about 60 people in attendance for that one. We have another 16 or 17 homeowners that have signed on to the program since then. And now a few months have passed, and we have another meeting for engaging our partner community scheduled for this Thursday, the 5th, at 7 o'clock here in this room. So we'll be here in a few days. I think we have about the same number of RSVPs as we had from the meeting in August. We're expecting a good crowd for that one as well. And so we're here just to sort of thank you for the opportunity to provide this program to Wilde Lake, to thank you for your continued support in the different programs that we've launched for the community to help make Columbia more sustainable as a whole. And as the meeting gets closer, it's happening Thursday evening, and any follow-up, if there's any, we've already been working with the staff here at the village. They've been very fantastic, all involved in getting it out, getting the newsletter, getting the email sent out. It's been fantastic. But as the meeting passes on Thursday and it goes on, if there are any email listservs or any other support you can do to help us inform and educate the community on this program for those that might be interested in solar power.
There's our contact.
That's right. That's right. I'm very excited.
Have you guys met?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, the care committee is perfectly timed for us to help engage and sort of. I know there's a strong watershed focus here that John McCoy has been building over the last year, which is fantastic. And as the energy manager, I'm excited to continue to expand into other aspects of environmental sustainability, including energy efficiency as well as we.
We need water bills.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We'll turbines to capture and, yes. So that's
So,
what we're at.
Jeremy,
Yes,
one,
that's-
I did send out the information to all the people in the CARES virtual community and,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome. And, somebody wrote back saying they're not able to attend, but how can they get all the information? Is it best to just connect them with you via email or?
Yes, and we can link them directly to Paul Cole, who's
Okay.
our field organizer, who's sort of where the rubber meets the road in terms of where the homeowner interfaces with the contractor doing the install.
Okay.
Through the process.
Okay. so-
Got a question. As
Yes, sir.
an older resident and trying to figure out what makes sense, being, I don't know how many more years I will be in my house. And being there are a lot of retired people like myself and even older than me. It would be interesting to, part of the presentation would be, what are the considerations for an older resident?
Sure.
And, does it make sense?
Yeah, and the way we structure the program, we currently have multiple options for homeowners to participate. They can own the program, they can engage in a solar PPA or a lease, very similar to what Solar City does very aggressively. And it's been very successful at it if there's a capitalization issue and they want to amortize it over time. So we have multiple options for homeowners. to
But I'm saying something aimed specifically to, the older residents to.
Sure.
Familiar with those different things, and I'm
Right.
saying, geez, this makes sense for me.
Okay.
Because, and there are a number of solar panel installations within Wilde Lake, because, the RAC has seen a number in the last couple of years.
Yeah, and we were at the festival this summer, and I was thrilled to have two right there on that road. It's, yes, there are two homes right there that have panels. which I was very excited to see.
There are at least 3 there now.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that CA is very proud of Jeremy because he won the Energy Star. Tell us what it was a big national award.
Yes,
in DC
yeah, so we were recognized.
because of Jeremy.
Yay, Jeremy.
I am, I stand on the shoulders of giants. No, we, actually 2 years in a row, we were recognized by the US EPA and the Department of Energy for excellence in Energy Star promotion. So that basically recognizes us, and we're only the 7th organization in the state to ever win an Energy Star award from the EPA. And it was specifically for our programming and our outreach and education in the community on energy efficiency and sustainability as a whole. So yes, we did win that last year. We're very proud of that. Thank you, Nancy. for the shade. Thank you.
Any questions for Jen or Paul?
Fantastic.
By the way, Paul is being very, very quiet and shy right now.
Yes.
But I've seen Paul in action, and he's the dynamo.
Yeah,
We
Paul's
anticipate-
if there are
yes.
technical questions on the program, he was my backup on.
Paul's a CA, you're a CA person,
No, I'm with Retrofit Baltimore. It's a program of Civic
What?
Works.
Baltimore,
Retrofit Baltimore.
Retrofit. Is that a company or
No, we're a program of the nonprofit Civic Works. So we're a third party and help people navigate the process of improving the energy efficiency of their homes. But if you have ideas of different outreach opportunities, please pass them along to me. Let me know.
I think that Jeff's suggestion about, I'm helping a senior who's 89 years old who lives in Ellicott City, not on CA property, but I think that that's absolutely correct, that we do have a need for seniors who are not clued in and really need some help with providing some kind of service like this, and I don't know how you do it.
Sure, that's great. Thank you. That's an excellent suggestion around messaging, educating the specific target audience.
Office on Aging is the only thing I could think of, but
The Village in Howard.
the Village in Howard. Well, I think maybe the Office on Aging, the Village in Howard is more focused on what they're doing, whereas the Office on Aging does more outreach to the community at large, as opposed to they're more circle-centric. I think.
Oh, that's right.
that makes sense.
That group from Howard They're trying to sell you a plan, a package plan. They're not
Well, no, there's membership.
membership. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell you a membership.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
I just want to ask, so I'm head of the Wilde Neighborhood Rep Committee. What are your schedule? Let's say if I want to schedule something with residents to educate them on the whole program. Is that something you guys will be available to?
If you want to schedule sort of
Like
a meeting or a little
Yeah,
workshop
like education
somewhere.
section on the whole.
Yeah, we are happy to talk to anybody anytime.
That's a great
So,
idea.
Yeah.
what I do all day long. So I can give you, make sure you have my contact information, and if there's any follow-up that's needed, we'd be happy to come to a little workshop somewhere, even if it's, we've had very good success with house parties, where we take somebody who's come through the program, had a good experience with it, they invite a few of their neighbors over to talk about what they've done, and it's very successful messaging of the word of mouth.
21st century Tupperware party.
Yes. Indeed. Indeed. Yeah, we'd love to talk to any group within the community about it. All right.
Is it only CA properties?
It is not, it is
Trying to
Howard,
understand.
it is Howard County wide. CA is specifically promoting and aggressively targeting residents of Columbia, but the program in and of itself is not exclusive to Columbia residents. So if it's somebody who's in our parcel or somewhere else in Howard County, that is not a problem to participate.
And for those companies that are knocking on your door or doing presentations for solar panels, is that a competitor of yours? I'm just trying to understand,
Sure, so,
do you know,
yeah, so we.
because we have that, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, right. And working with Retrofit Baltimore, a procurement was let in RFP. So it was an open competition to be on our short list of approved qualified contractors to do work. Do you want to give her a quick?
Yeah, so one of the things we do as Retrofit Baltimore is pre-screen and vet contractors in advance. So we want to make sure that we're connecting homeowners with contractors that made it through all of our vetting process, that they're not only providing high quality work, but are able to offer the discount. And then also we look at how responsive they are. So as contractors aren't meeting our guidelines and our expectations, we can begin to take leads away from that contractor, feed it to a different contractor that will offer the exact same discount. But so it provides them with a high incentive to make sure that they're meeting our expectations.
So we have highly screened contractors on board that are constantly being reviewed and evaluated by us as a third party. There are individuals that walk through may have been associated with the vendors that we have, they may not have been. But as the third party, CA and Retrofit Baltimore provide a discounted rate as well as additional oversight of the work that's done.
So we could call you and provide a name, somebody who's knocked on our door, and find out if that is somebody that you've approved.
Sure, or yeah, we can schedule a meeting with you for sure to talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Any other questions? No? All right. Anything for us?
No, we're all set. Thank you again for all your support.
Absolutely. So we'll see you guys back here.
Back here Thursday night. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Kristen, the clock needs adjusting.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, I gotta get out of here.
All right, next on the agenda.
Make a motion, quick pocket. Second.
It's, next Thursday, right?
That's coming Thursday.
This Thursday. This Thursday.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, Columbia Council Representative Nancy.
Well, we're still in the middle of the budget process, and I'm on my way in a couple minutes to a BOC meeting and Board Operations Committee. Because Andy Stack is gone again, now that he's retired from the federal government. He just keeps telling me I'm filling in for him, so that's what I'm doing.
Good for you.
Yeah, and I don't know what to say. I mean, you've seen my notes, and again, I can only reiterate, it's been a tough year.
So you're happy that Andy's coming on, well, he is considered board chair now, right?
Well, there's a question about that, but he will certainly be chair by the middle of the month, if not sooner.
You had your open house since we've been together, right?
Oh, did I? Yes, we did. CA had the open house 2 weeks ago, something like that. It was lovely. And you were there, I understand, but I missed you.
Yes, I saw your pictures.
You did? Oh, that's nice.
Well, CA publishes everything on Facebook now. So as you were walking through and touring,
Oh, really?
snap, snap, snap.
Oh,
Yes.
wow, that's not good news. Yeah, so does anybody have any questions about anything? I'm happy to answer.
I think the question of what else does Bess and her team need to do? We see Jeff in the audience as far as the budget process and their fire retention.
I don't think there's anything you need to do. John has said it's gonna happen. I don't believe that there's any reason to believe it's not gonna happen. It's necessary. It's not something frivolous that you're asking for. It's something that we really, and I believe it's gonna happen. If you wanna keep coming, you're welcome to come, but I really don't think you need to do that. John tell you?
No.
He told Bess.
Yeah, no, for sure, but.
Didn't he tell you that it was gonna happen?
You told me.
Oh, well then. What else do you need? No, I really believe it's gonna happen. John essentially told me as well, so that, I guess I was channeling John when I did it.
For my curiosity, tell me if there's somebody else I should resource this through. When board approves something, it's okay, we vote it and it's a go and it's in the budget. What is the possibility, the very smallest possibility that another board comes up in April of next year or whenever it is and says, you know, on second thought, we're not interested?
Funny you should say that. It is only right and proper that once the budget is set, the budget is set. And the new board gets to deal with a new budget at the end of that year. That they should not be going back and having an impact on what has already been established. I can make no comment other than that at this time. I make no promises about what the board will do. This evening at the BOC, we're going to be talking about the ethics, the code of ethics and business conduct, which is a major issue and more major than we would like it to be. It's a major concern for me, and I'm telling you all so that you're aware of it and that you understand how really important it is that people vote and understand what's going on at CA, so when they vote for their CA rep in April, they know what it is they're voting for.
Are you involved at all regarding the Inner Arbor event tomorrow night?
No, I'm going to try to go. That's as close as involved I'm gonna be.
I can tell you guys more later, I guess. But anyway, anything else for Nancy?
Would you be able to facilitate a meeting with Milton Matthews?
Absolutely,
I'll talk to you offline.
absolutely, yeah. He's wonderful about meeting with people.
Great.
Matter of fact, he was here for the,
Or the other night,
yeah, what were you here for?
the speaker series,
Oh,
the,
right.
that guy was terrific. I couldn't stay for the whole thing.
That was sponsored by CA, wasn't
I believe so, yeah.
it? Yes. Good.
What, is this the only thing?
It was a planning and zoning meeting, and the gentleman gave an excellent speech
Yeah.
on what should happen in village centers like ours to keep people coming back and keep the receptivity of the people coming back to the village center over and over and over again. Did an excellent job, excellent job. And they sort of tiptoe around talking about Wilde Lake as the ideal place, but you can hear it coming out in questions later on afterwards. Well, yeah, Wilde Lake is doing the right thing. They're doing what should have been done with the others sooner. So.
Well, yeah, but Wilde Lake was the first,
Mhm.
and it was a very difficult birthing period, shall we say.
It was very.
It was a, yeah, Jeff Glazer was there, and I know he was chuckling to himself.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, anything else for Nancy? All right, well, thank you, Nancy, appreciate
You're
it.
very welcome.
Thank you
I'm
very
sorry
much.
I have to go, but it's a
That's all right.
big meeting tonight.
Next on the agenda is resident speak out. Do you have any audience members that would like to tell us anything, give us an update on anything at all? Otherwise, we'll keep on moving to the order of business. Thank you very much. Nancy, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you so much. All right. Nobody?
I just really wanted to introduce myself.
Yes.
I'm Desiree Williams. I am the new manager for the Columbia Bank at the Harper's Choice branch.
That's where I've seen.
Yes. And, we still have a lot of the merchants that still bank with us here at Wilde Lake, even though we're not here anymore. But, I just wanted to let you all know that I am here. If you, have any, if you need any support with any events, because I know we supported you all in the past, that even though we're not physically here, I'm still around the corner, and we can, help you out any way, you need us to. So just let me know, and I will give you my cards so that you can have that as well.
Excellent, excellent. Desiree was very, very gracious and donated to the garden committee prizes. So a lot of the prizes that were given out, it was from their generous support. So thank you, Desiree.
Come November 14th to the,
I assume you have all the vendors you take them.
I'm not, if you know of somebody,
Yeah.
send me information.
I'll contact them. My new neighbors.
So welcome, Desiree, to our family here. You're always welcome to come anytime.
Yeah, I was at Oakland Mills at first, and then they closed my branch, so now I'm over here.
Wait a minute, Oakland Mills, their branch is gone now?
Yeah, it's Tom.
Wow, I thought it was just the branches that were going construction. All right, next on the order of business is a request for approval of capital expenditures, replacement of phone system. Kristen?
Well, I understand that Jeff had a lot of questions after the last meeting. I did send this information out with the answers that I got from the vendors. So I don't know if anybody had any follow-up to those questions. I would, based on some of the information that I got from the vendors, I would change my recommendation from accepting the offer. I still would recommend that we approve the offer from Data Voice Exchange, DVX, but they are recommending that we get a slightly more powerful backup battery and surge protector, which is about $450. So I'd like to add that on top of the cost that they quote.
Okay, I looked at the responses and I thought this voice, that whatever,
Data Voice Exchange.
data voice exchange, in their responses, they seem to know what was going on more than the other companies did in terms of the equipment. You know, I was impressed with their responses and also with the fact they suggested putting in a new up system, uninterrupted power supply. So I certainly say, go to it.
And as far as the sets were concerned, did you get your?
Yeah,
answers on that?
it was nominal difference in cost
Yeah, I think it's.
and
Data
confusion
Voice
to the staff.
Yes.
How many buttons? How many lines?
Yeah, I think it's important that everybody knows how to use, everyone has to know how to use the front desk phone.
Exactly.
So it just doesn't seem to make sense to have different phones and people having to figure out, because the cost is, I think it was between $150 and $200, not per phone, total,
Total.
to go from the, yeah.
One that was expandable versus one that was stationed.
Yeah, it has a built-in firewall.
Okay, so what happens now when the phone goes bad or malfunction? Do they replace it?
Well, there's a 1-year warranty as part of the new purchase, and then after that expires, we'll have the opportunity to purchase a maintenance agreement. We have a maintenance agreement right now with Avaya. We pay quarterly, about $200 a quarter. So I would imagine that once the 1-year warranty is over, we'll do something similar, whether it's with Data Voice Exchange or with Avaya.
Does Avaya do the service, or does that Voice Exchange does it, or?
Yes, well, both.
Yes.
Yes, well, both, yes.
Okay.
Actually, both.
I make a motion that we accept the recommendation with the addition of the new up system.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
Thank you so
System has
much.
been approved.
We get the call right.
Thank you, everyone, for your attentiveness.
The
on
little things.
Next, I downloaded this legislation, I just left it, I was curious about it.
Next on the agenda is a request to access funds from the Village Contingency Fund. This is regarding village branding. Kristen?
So I sent a lot of information.
Yes, you did.
But I hope that you didn't spend too much time going through the presentation, although it was very interesting, the presentation that the Leadership Essentials group did. But what came out of that presentation loud and clear is that people around town don't understand really what the villages are, what the villages can do for people, what village they live in. So the Leadership Essentials people made a lot of recommendations, and we've talked about them a lot as a group, the managers, and would like to implement some of the ideas that they suggested. And those ideas were outlined in this 2-page memo, so that was not even 2 pages that I hope you focused on. I think one of the most important and probably the most costly here would be to create an upgraded columbiavillages.org website. I don't know if you've looked at our columbiavillages.org website, it's pretty.
I never even knew it existed.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty lame. It's just a landing
It's a
page.
shell.
Yeah, and that is how it was designed, when it was designed 15 plus years ago. But it's time to upgrade that. So a lot of the work would be focused on that. Some printed materials, I think this falls nicely in line with what we're trying to do with the neighborhood reps and the welcome packages, just more information, printed information in addition to the digital information. So basically where we are right now is we need to have, I should have sent you that. Anyway, for a second. So this is the Village Contingency Fund. We've talked about it in the recent past, so so everybody's familiar with that. So we need to have the majority of the villages agree to go to the Village Contingency Fund to use money for this project. So that's where we are now, just asking, each manager is now asking their boards to approve this. To go to the Village Contingency Committee to ask for the money, approval for the money. We'll send out RFPs.
There's 2 questions.
Mhm.
Who's going to maintain the website, and what's going to be the cost of that?
The cost here, we've got estimates, and these are just estimates. 'Cause we
Right, no,
haven't
that's
sent
the creative.
Right.
But there was nothing, there was no mention about maintenance.
Oh, no, there isn't.
Because
Well, I
otherwise
should
it'll
make
become
sure
like
that
the
that's,
existing one.
yeah. Let me make a note, and we'll make sure that that's part of the RFP.
Second question is, on the car magnets, that's an awful lot of money. Is that really something that, is that useful? I mean, we've got these cute little magnets that say Wilde Lake,
Right.
and other villages might have things.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
then
this is-
that's 20% of this money.
right, and they
seems
are expensive, I can tell you, I mean.
Yeah,
we
so I'm
got
saying,
the
why,
idea.
is this necessary and is really gonna buy anything in terms of making people aware of it?
And I had the same thought as just, I'd rather put a wildlife on my farm.
Right.
Who's gonna put a Columbia
Right.
Villages
Well, we hope,
magnet?
I mean, this is why we're trying to create that brand. I don't know who will, and we've had mixed reactions to the Wilde Lake ones too, frankly, so,
I would just
Yeah.
think that if you're trying to get people connected with their village, you'd want to promote their villages
well,
for a magnet.
right, and I guess we're going to sort of have two things going on. What we really want, we want two things. We, of course, here in Wilde Lake, want people to connect with Wilde Lake. But we also have to look at the big picture. And so we want people to really maybe start with connecting with the villages, understanding what the Columbia villages can do. And then saying, oh, well, where do I fit in that? Oh, in Wilde Lake. And that would lead us then to ours. So that's what this is focused on, the big picture.
Right.
As a board ourselves, we can focus on what we do. And
I
we're
can
doing that
add
with the
one
neighborhood
little
reps.
thing to that. Recently, I've been talking more with the other board chairs. And for the most part, it seems like we're in agreement that that's something that we'd be interested in also.
The magnets
No.
or.
Well, no.
I think you're looking at the
Right,
weeds in the
right, right.
grass.
Well, no, I'm just,
Right,
this is
right.
great, I'm just
Right.
thinking
I think as far as the
financially,
overall
right,
picture,
for me,
Right,
that,
right.
I think at this point in
Yeah.
time, this is not
Right.
your budget. This
Right.
is sort of like an overreach.
Right,
It's throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks.
right.
And I think eventually, my understanding is that
Right.
this would be brought back again, and again, and again, and again. I think.
Right.
So-
But I will
the
certainly
comments
let the
are-
group know
let's keep
that
it
there's some
advice.
concern of,
But put the,
yeah, the
put that down on
concern
our list
about,
that there's.
you know, sort of the percentage of money to be used for this could perhaps be used for other things.
I really liked having on the website, you could type in your address and figure out that, I think is great.
Yes.
Really great.
I think what we need is a map that delineates and shows where the villages are, because when I take a look at some of the things like at Harper's Choice and things, and I went doing something tonight over it, and, I realized I included in there some of Sebring or whatever,
Right,
and, a map like that would help everybody.
right, sure. Yeah, it's not easy because some of the boundaries are funny, but at least being able to, if you know the address, you can put the address
Yeah,
in
but you
there.
control, like.
They're not all, but I'm saying they're not all like contiguous. They're
Well, that's fine.
So the village's website,
Mhm.
is it possible to move that to CA's website, current website, or they don't want to do it as a page, it's a separate website?
Well, CA does provide a link to all our individual sites, and I'm sure when we have this, they'll provide a link to, but a link only, it's not gonna be part
It's not
of.
about the hosting.
No.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, and so I didn't see this proposal, but is there anything in the marketing about, real estate agents? Or would, like Long and Foster then have a link to?
Have that.
But I'm just saying, it seems like, when people are first coming to Howard County and they're looking for a home, or even in like with the extended stay type properties where they're transitioning, those types of places, your dollar may be.
Right, and all the,
Better
a lot of
suited
these
to
printed
try to
materials
promote,
would be great to take to those kind of
Or
places.
get them to
Sure.
have
Yeah.
links where you can, to try to see the overall,
Right.
what are, all the villages.
Right, yep, great.
That may have been in there, I just don't know, I haven't seen
Right.
it.
Right, yeah, no, it's more just a general proposal, but those are great suggestions.
By the way, that's Karen and Sam Russell, and they're on Bright Bay Way, right?
Yes, we're in Ellicott City, which we have CAPR in our mortgage, but that's what I'm saying, where it's fuzzy, like, we're not really CA, but we pay CA, I mean, well, CAPR, it's in our mortgage, so we have the paths that are maintained by CA.
Where is
Do
she?
you live in Dorsey? Is
I live
that-
in Dorsey.
That's CA. Even though you have an Ellicott City address, it's
Right.
still part of.
I'm CA.
Yeah.
I've been there 15 years and I'm still
Right.
not in I've lived there 15 years.
Right.
I mean, I can get the card, right? I go to get the card.
The resident card?
Yeah.
That you're CA.
Okay.
Right, Bailey Way.
Yeah. My son says he knows that. Maybe that's why I'm shouting. We're here partly, he's a Boy Scout.
Beautiful. Great work.
And part of being a Boy Scout and working towards Eagle is to attend different public meetings like this and learning more about your community. And so we're here of interest, but we're also here as part of a mission for him. He has to report
Sam,
back.
very proud of you. Thank you for choosing us. We're very
Yes.
happy to have you. Thank you.
And he will eventually be going to Wilde Lake High School. So we thought this community, even though we don't live in Wilde Lake, he will be spending at least 4 years at Wilde Lake High School.
Yeah. Well, and if you know, other people that need Eagle Scout projects, we are interested in working with Eagle Scouts to implement some more environmental projects in some of our open space. So that's
Okay. Yeah. Great.
Right, thank you. I'm sorry, Kristen. Are we
Sorry.
ready for a vote? All right, let's go ahead. At this point in time, I would like a motion for seeing through the village branding project,
I'll make a motion.
please.
Make a motion I move to move forward with the village branding project fund approval.
Second. Okay.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Wilde. Yes, Karen.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean that meant it got approved with the bumper stickers, or can you say
Just to access the
The document that you did not see and our viewers at home, there is this huge packet of possibilities. And it gave just blanket estimates. This is going to be $1,000. This might be $1,500. Just all different types of things, websites, bumper stickers. And so we're saying, please go ahead and look at it. Go further, take it to the next step.
Thank you.
It was nice of you, Jeff. Thank you. All right, next on the agenda, we
Let's
have
recycle.
a amendment to.
Oh, pretty sure that's here.
Oh, do not.
So we'll wait. Okay. Whatever.
Is that all right with the rest of the board?
Just 7.5.
Hmm?
You said 7.5.
Well, roughly, it's when she expects to be here.
Yeah, she said.
Oh, I
she was
see,
gonna
I
go
see.
7:40.
All right, so we're not taking it off the agenda entirely. We're
Right.
just going to bump it. until-
Right, she had to get
Okay,
her-
thank you very much. Appreciate it. The next is a report by our AC liaison.
As you know, there are 3 new members on the board.
I'm sorry. For those that don't know what an AC liaison is, can you tell, please?
Architectural committee, or alternating current committee. As an electrical engineer. We have 3 new members that were named by the village board last month. And they're fully at work. 4 applications were approved and signed off. And they only had 1 RAC meeting this past month. And things are going along just fine.
Great.
And I will carry out the duties to you 2 guys.
Oh, good, good. Next is a committee report, education committee.
That's me again.
All right.
I attended, last time I said I attended all the PTA meetings. Still haven't been to a Wilde Lake High School PTA meeting, because I don't know when they are, and I'm not hearing, I sent emails to the president, and I'm not hearing anything back, But Kevin
I
met
have a contact for you.
the vice chair, so maybe she'll be more responsive. I interviewed somebody this morning from Town Center who's interested in serving on the committee, name's Kirsten Combs. So she's interested in it and also asked her to bring back to their village board to support us in ways we've been talking about, basically publicizing things as a additional thing. She's declared and is going to be running for the Board of Education, so we have to be careful about that. And also, Amy Chirola volunteered to be on the Education Committee for Running Brook, for Wilde Lake Middle School and Running Brook Elementary School. I don't know if you knew that.
I found out today. We'll take up the last 2 hours of the 24 that she's, or 22 that she's, no, it's great. I heard all about this today at lunch.
All right, appreciate that. Jeff and his wife have been so active in our community. It's a pleasure to have you guys. Thank you.
And there's a meeting tomorrow afternoon here of the committee. And I'm doing a presentation at 8:15 to Hickory Ridge, asking for their support and possibly another member for the board. And Wednesday, I'm interviewing somebody else potentially for the committee whose child goes to Bryant Woods Elementary School. So I will see about that. Let's see. Had a meeting at Running Brook Elementary School with Laura Robinson and Jane Hartlove, read some of their needs. Lauren is the I think it's called the Black Achievements Coordinator or person.
Black Student Achievement Program.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Which is part of Title I funding. And Jane Hartlove is Outreach Coordinator for Families, with families also funded by Title I. And so talking about needs of funds for what they call the Bridges program, which is an after-school program. They need snacks because the kids get hungry because it goes till 6 o'clock, and they don't have money in the program this year for snacks. So they were looking to see if we could help with funding. They were talking about individual tutors to help with 5th and 6th grades, and I'm looking at my notes, I wasn't quite sure. That she was asking volunteers. There were also things with volunteers of a partnership of reading with students, which means the student reads to you, like grandpa.
I can do that.
And then they were talking about student service to the community. I mentioned that you might have some things considering your elementary school. But they're contacting Vantage House, and they were talking about doing things like holiday decorations, visiting the residents, and pen pals, where the students would write to get to use their writing skills to the residents, and the residents could tell them about their life and what it was like when they were the age of these kids. So that's very interesting.
That's great.
So I suggested for this request for funding and things to write something up, send it to Carol. Carol hasn't gotten it yet, so that we can put it in our newsletter and see if we can get some funds for that. On that blessings and backpacks, she did not have a report back as to how much money they have for that. And I'm gonna take them to BJ's using my BJ's pass, so they can see what it costs to do it and what's available at BJ's. That's it. So things are moving along. Don't know how much we've done, but we certainly Carol's certainly been putting things in the newsletter and making.
Carol, thank you for your support. I appreciate it.
And then, let's see, in Running Brook Elementary School is having a winter coat drive, as Bryant Woods Elementary School did a couple weeks ago. Carol put that in the newsletter and forgot to bring a coat over today. I'll do that tomorrow.
And Jeff, just for the board's
Yes.
Recollection, you do not have a mission yet, correct?
Correct. Kevin nicely, unknowingly, made some changes to it today. Very nice wording, because it was part of the presentation. He saw it in a different format than he's seen before. And I think it's about ready to come to the board for maybe next month. Here's the gym. It's version 0.5 right now, so maybe we're ready to go to 1.0.
I'd just like to add that the Columbia Bank has be in the process of partnering with Running Brook Elementary School and Swansfield Elementary for school banking program to encourage the students to save money. So that's a new partnership that we are starting, and we're actually already started Running Brook already. We already set our date for November 19th. So
That's great.
to the launch date for that. So
Does the school have to ask for that, or you approach the school?
I approached the school. Yeah, we have partnerships with other schools, like we did Stevens Forest and Thunderhill Elementary School while I was at Oakland Mills. We still do Thunderhill right now and Stevens Forest, but I just wanted to mention that since you were talking about the education piece that
I remember when I was a kid, 100 years ago, well, 70 years ago, getting a passbook and having it recorded to you, getting passbooks.
Right.
So, wow.
Yeah, we still kind of have something like that for the children, just to encourage them to save.
Yeah.
And we also go into the schools and do, they have a Teach Children to Save Day in April. So we go in there and do a presentation about the importance of saving money and how to save money.
Oh, would you be willing to do that with Brian Woods also?
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear back from them. I have reached out to them though. Yes.
Great, thank you.
Next up is any questions for Jeff? All right, neighborhood representatives, Ula Cooper.
So I'm just working with Christine on a welcome package. Did Nancy mention map of Columbia? She spoke with Norma. That was part of
Norma, yes,
Yeah.
and Norma Hine, who's the Director of Communications and Marketing at CA, will be at the managers meeting next Wednesday. And she's gonna bring this packet that Nancy talked about seeing at the open house.
Okay.
Some kind of a folder
So the
that's.
same package.
I gave him
Probably
mine.
the same package.
Oh,
Kevin
you
gave.
did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm
Package
going.
I brought to
Yeah,
show.
Jeff
Oh,
brought
great,
one thing.
okay.
So I'm going through it. I think I saw the map.
Okay.
I don't know, have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet, because Nancy, Norma said she'll bring one next
Okay.
week.
Does it have a map?
It's a real,
Yes.
it was a nice plastic bag full of.
Oh, I've got it.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah.
Okay.
So working on that.
Yeah.
Then still waiting for the slides, right?
Right. Yes, I've been ordering samples of the promotional stuff, so I'm working towards it.
So that's where we are right now. Once we get that and the new information, new residents moving in, we can start targeting and stretching our arms and welcome to Wilde.
Any questions for Will? Oh, by the way, Sam might be interested in hearing your elevator speech.
Speech.
Tell me what a neighborhood rep is, please.
Sam, so neighborhood rep, in the village of Wilde, we have neighborhood reps on different streets. Like right now, we don't have neighborhood reps on every street. That's our goal, to have neighborhood reps on every street in the village of Wilde. So as a neighborhood rep, you are like liaison between residents and the village, the Wilde Village Association. So like information on, let's say, the newsletter we should get on, is it weekly or bi-weekly? So I send the newsletter out to neighborhood reps, and the neighborhood reps in turn forward the newsletter to residents, try to keep residents up to date, because I mean, not everyone is like checking their emails and stuff constantly. And not just the newsletter, but also listening to residents on like different issues they may have with other neighbors, what's going on in their
in their little like community, and they can then relate that to the resident, the neighborhood rep can then send that information to the board. It could be complaints, it could be suggestions and stuff, improvements. Yeah. And organizing events too, so not just updating resident information, but also getting neighbors together and organizing events and stuff, trying to make Wilde Lake a community of family. Yeah. So if that's something you're interested in, well, you're not in Village Wilde Lake, but yeah, that's I hope you're in Village Wilde Lake. We could recruit you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But every village has that.
No.
Oh, they don't?
There were, I think some of them are working on it.
What's the thing one? There's a village that has.
Oakland Mills has a pretty active, like, street captains program. That's Renee shaking her head.
Yeah, also
Yeah.
street captain, block
I
captains
think
too.
Hickory Ridge is beginning.
Yeah, Hickory Ridge has
one.
So it's something we need to talk to Dorothy about.
I didn't say that.
Thank you.
All right.
So yeah, that's what the neighborhood reps is about and stuff. And we're making improvement. One of the improvement was the welcome package. So in case we have new residents move into the village, we can have neighborhood reps or block captains, as they call in some places, to take this package with information about the village and almost like stretching out to say welcome to the village of Wilde Lake. Yeah.
Very nice.
Any questions for Will? Thank you, Will. All right. Wilde Lake Cares, that's Kathleen.
So I don't have many updates, but just a reminder that next Monday, we're meeting with Sean Harbaugh to discuss the wording of the fishing rules and regulations. And the steering committee is attending that, and you all are welcome to come if you want.
Where's that?
Here,
Oh, it's
Monday, the 9th, is that the 9th? I don't remember the 9th.
Yeah.
And we don't have a location quite yet because this room is, you said it was being used? I guess it was being used. Okay. Okay. But somewhere in the building, yeah, we're a small group.
I think you're gonna set up tables and chairs in the Wilde Lake room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be here, and we hope to revise this wording, which is very confusing, and then make some recommendations for a new map that shows where fishing is and is not allowed around the lake. The current map is also confusing. So that's, hopefully, we'll see by the end of the year, kind of this new language coming out, and they'll post on the, I don't know, has anybody, did you guys see the new, they did post a new map and the current language on the boathouse. Right, so that's a great location for it, you can actually see it, but that will be revised. So that's my
Excellent.
So Wilde Lake Cares is our new environmental committee, community action and resources for environmental stewardship. So we welcome folks that use the Wilde Lake open space, not just residents, to join the virtual community and get email updates, volunteer opportunities, events, happenings, things like that. So let me know if you want to go on the list.
Please.
Would it be possible to get a copy of the map, like where to fish and then where not to fish, to include that in the welcome package? So I think that'd be a good way to start educating residents about fishing on the lake.
Yeah, so I think, I don't see why not. I know the current map is online. You kind of have to search around for it. So I don't see why we wouldn't be able to, get a PDF and make copies. Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't be an issue. One thing I will mention that I talked about with Sean, I'm gonna get my orientation wrong. If you're at the park, the boathouse, and you're facing the lake,
That's
the end all the way to the right, where that giant house is. Yeah, so those floating wetlands, so there's talk about extending those wetlands all the way across the lake, so boaters can't get to that side of the lake. And it would just kind of be the end, maybe 5th the lake. But that is
Similar
where,
to Centennial. They have some.
yeah, Centennial
You're
has,
talking
they
about the
have.
far end by the,
The bridge.
where the stream comes in?
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that end, where there's a lot of bird action, and so that might be something that we see in the future. And right now, Sean and his team build those floating wetlands, but we also discussed maybe having some of the school kids build them.
Eagle
They
Scout
can-
That might
activity.
be.
Well, the high school too.
The high school, the middle school, I mean, it could be a great project, or the environmental club, which is still haven't got a feature there, but, so there could be some way to connect students to the process of building and expanding these floating wetlands.
Bess, before Sean does that, make sure you tell him that he needs to come to the village board and talk about the project in an open meeting.
Yeah.
Because when those islands were first put in the lake several years ago, there was quite an uproar about.
Really?
Yeah, because people just didn't understand what they were and stuff, and all of a sudden, people are plopping things in the middle of the lake and.
Yeah,
So,
this
Especially
is
if we're not
not,
trying to be blocking.
right,
everyone,
none
just
of,
with-
none of this
right,
is imminent, I mean, this
Right.
is all just kind of initial discussion of
Right.
some of the things that might
Right.
come out of.
Talking about that, does anyone know what was going on? Because there were a bunch of dump trucks, that looked like some front end loaders or something like that, down at the path that comes down from the dam towards Highland Brook. There was a whole bunch of CA, like heavy trucks. And I was gonna take a walk and I forgot to take a walk. I got tired of.
Today?
It's not
Yeah.
it's not the rain garden.
No, the
No,
rain
that's
garden
outside
side,
of the garden.
that's already done, except for the planning. Okay.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, Dunmogan Middle School may be a resource for you. Their science department works with wetlands. So their students are doing a lot with I know particularly in their science. Dunmogan Middle School. So much so that, I mean, they've had, the governor has been to the school. I mean, it's gained a lot of attention from the state, from our political representatives, because it's one of the few schools that is doing this at this level. I mean, you could say what you did.
Basically what we do is we go back into the wetlands and we've mulched paths, we've lined them with logs that we found, there's a stream, so we can pull the logs out and line the path with them. Also, we pick up garbage. Halfway through the year, they usually bring in these goats and they eat all of the invasive species. And then, of course, they come back the next year, and the goats come back.
Goats come every year.
It's okay. And over the summer, I know a lot of people had come in and they vandalized everything. They took all the mulch paths and destroyed everything. And it's our job to come back in and redo everything.
Do you have a name of a teacher that's leading that?
Ms. Bendit?
Yeah, Kathleen Bennett.
Kathleen Bendit, Benditt.
Yeah.
She's phenomenal. Dunmogan Middle School. I don't think there's another school that does it to that extent.
That's great, that's really exciting.
So instead of trying to reinvent something that's already happening here in the county, maybe they can help you get something similar. I don't know the close, like, can students walk? Is there a school where the students can walk to these areas where you're speaking of to either, study or help?
Elementary schools.
That's pretty young.
Wilde Middle School, we need to start, we have parents who are interested in starting a green program.
Yeah, well, please, okay.
For Jeff knows, I've got
We'll connect.
lots of things that we need to focus on, one project at a time.
This is
That
all walking
on.
distance, so they're literally taking class time while they're in
Yes.
class, and they're walking to do this.
I think we would definitely want to learn, like you said, there's no point in reinventing the wheel, but we have a science teacher who is in charge of a green program, but it really hasn't hit traction unless you connect with a parent who feels just as enthusiastic about it. And we have one, but they came too late with the idea. you know how you schedule or plan for everything during the summer, especially when you have to work with the school. So I did tell her to keep that on her list or agenda for next year. And that would be something we would love to incorporate into the Wilde curriculum, because that's sorely lacking.
Well, that's great, thank you.
Well, thank you guys. By the way, did you already tell everybody about the adventure you had last Thursday
The
morning
adventure
around Wilde?
Suspense.
with you, the two of you. No, we attended a tour of Wilde Lake. And it was part of the, what do they call the series of the walks, Columbia Walks, or Explore Columbia program. So this was the last of the fall walks. And they feature, this fall, they feature mostly the lakes. And then I think they do one at they did one at the MPEA as well. What does it stand for? Environmental, the Middle Patuxent Environmental Area. So this one was at Wilde Lake, and we had a nice little walk around the lake, and had a tour guide telling us about the history of the lake and the environmental features, and it was very well attended, and mostly retirees. It was the middle of the day, so or during the week. But yeah, and was able to recruit some more Wilde Lake cares people.
Yeah, quite a list going there, didn't you?
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Wilde Lake Cares, any questions for Bess or Wilde Lake Cares? No. All right, thank you.
I just want to ask one other question. Do you do anything with community-supported agriculture?
I don't personally. There are some CSAs that serve Howard County.
Yeah, I just was curious if you promote one.
I don't know, and I would
For
hesitate
this-
to promote any particular business over others. What I am a big advocate for are the community gardens in Columbia, which I'm a member of one of them. That's not a CSA, to grow your own food there. But since that is an opportunity to grow within Columbia, I think it's a really neat and important part of the community. But there are a number of CSAs that deliver. There's one that delivers in right near you guys.
I know.
Yeah.
As I was just curious if there was one right here, if you were hooked in with one, that's all.
No, I don't know any that come to Wilde Lake.
I know Oakland Mills, Centennial. Anyways, yeah.
There's one right up around the corner from Dunlogan Middle School. We used to belong to that for a couple of years. We stopped. Now I've grown my own, but yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Next, I'd like to introduce a special guest, Fawn Doan. She is the PTSA president for Wilde Lake Middle School.
Good evening. Should I stand? Is that part of formality?
I
I don't want to look down on anybody, but.
Fawn, just to let you
You're on
know,
video.
just to introduce you, we have a live streaming feed to members at home. No pressure. And then your audience members behind you. This is Desiree Williams. She's from the Columbia Bank. She's the manager there. And then this is
Karen
and
Sam.
Sam Russell. They are from Dorsey
City.
Search, but Sam is doing a Boy Scout project by coming out and visiting with us today.
Awesome. Are you going for your Eagle Scout yet?
Yes.
Yes, my neighbor did that too, so sounds familiar. But, I want to thank you, the village board members, for taking on this request and for hearing me out on such short notice. I don't know what Jeff has or has not told you about what we are planned for Wilde Lake Middle School this year, and you do have the prolific funding request in front of you. So I won't go into that in detail, but what I would tell you is that things are happening at the lake, good things. We have a principal, we have an additional vice principal, and a lot of what I call talented parents. We, rather than take the route of having people volunteer for committees that they really are not familiar with, and so people hesitate, they took the other route and asked them to list their talents and skills. And in doing so, we learned a lot more about our parents and what they had to offer, because you may or may not be aware that most of our students, we have at least 50% of our students where parents are working at odd hours, working multiple jobs, or they come from what we would consider, non-traditional families where they are living with grandparents, two-generational type households. So in dealing with that, we need to recruit what I say, it takes a village to raise a child, and this is so true in this case. And I have never, ever in my life, up to this point, and my kids are now 12 years old, ever held a position with PTSA. I was just one of those parents who said, here's your money, call me when you need me, I'll be happy to show up. And I consider myself very fortunate, that we grew up in that neighborhood where we had more parents than we needed almost all the time. In fact, people would always get upset because they weren't picked. Well, now I'm here at Wilde Lake Middle School, and we have almost the exact opposite. I think we have a lot of talented folks who have been at it too long. Most of us volunteered for everything, right, in elementary school, because we felt that the kids needed us all the time. And then you get to middle school and they're like, they're grown up, they don't need us. Well, I'm pretty sure, and I wrote it on our website. I wrote the website, so I really mean everything he said. If you ask any middle school parent, my kids are now in 7th grade, and my first year at middle school was like, whoa, what happened? And what I've discovered is that people don't volunteer as much, they don't give as much. It's almost like they became an adult overnight, and these children are left on their own. And I don't understand the thought behind it, but I told our new parents that this is where they really need you the most. They need you now, because this is the first time for a lot of these kids where they're mingling with new kids. Think about it. Our kids spend the first 7 years of their life with the same kids, because most of them, if they were fortunate enough, they got pre-K, and they were in pre-K with the same kids. Then when they went all through elementary school with the same kids, and now you throw them in with all these new kids. And if you look at the cafeteria, you see the little clusters, right? No one's really mingling. They're afraid, they've heard rumors, whatever reason. But our job as a PTSA, when I say it takes a whole village to raise these kids, it's because all these other parents have dropped off. And I feel like I told the other parents that I'm more than happy to help out with the next 25 kids or so, but I need your help too. So we were really fortunate to have all these talented parents step up for all these programs that we were thinking about. And I wanted to make sure that we met all the children's needs, that it wouldn't be just a STEM-oriented, focus, or that it's not just geared towards the athletes. So I call my program the Mathletes and the Athletes. We wanted to reinvigorate our math team to give them a bigger challenge, so that when they finished the Mathlon competition, which they just completed this Saturday, that they'll have something else to continue. Because before this year, that's it. That was our math program. It ended last weekend. But this year, because we have a PhD parent who loves science and math, he's going to recruit those same kids and add them to our ongoing math counts team, which will continue to meet and then compete. We're hoping to have a school-wide program competition in January, and then do our county. And who knows, we'll go from there. But that's our hope this year. And then for our athletes, couldn't ask for anything more. We had a father who coaches professionally. He runs a basketball program, but is stepping up. So in addition to running his professional program, he actually, and we recruited 4 other parents who are going to coach for the first time for a school like ours. It's incredible. It just boggles my mind that we didn't have a basketball team. This being the oldest middle school in Howard County, never had an all Wilde Lake Middle School student. All our students had to go elsewhere. So their talent was being recruited by Harper's Choice, Clarksville Middle. They're playing for other schools because we didn't have anybody who was going to step up and or the money, the funding to help get them onto these basketball teams. So this is the year that they had that opportunity. And like I told you, my kids, this is not about my kids at all. They're privileged, they're fortunate. They don't know how fortunate they are, but for these other kids, 120 kids showed up for 20 spots. 120 kids. And now 4 of them, at least that I know of, can't afford the jerseys, which is a darn shame. But the reason why they're so expensive is they're reversible jerseys. That way, it's cheaper than two uniforms really, and that way they have a home and away uniform. But that's the need for these after-school activities. When you look at the school profile and they list all these activities, half of them don't exist anymore. It's just that they never updated their profile. And so we're trying to bring real extra after-school activities that's available to everyone. And that was the other problem. We know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but there's a Bridges program. And that actually has acted as more of a divider in the school, because only the kids who qualify, the 50% of the kids who actually do qualify for these programs, that's great. But then the kids who don't qualify, it's income. Yeah. So those kids then don't qualify. And so instead of actually trying to keep everybody even and the kids don't know about other kids' status, because some of them qualify for this program while others don't, and you have to tell this child, I'm sorry, you can't participate because your family makes more than enough. It's actually created this division in the school for the haves and the have-nots. And the kids can clearly identify who's who. So we're trying to close that gap by making all these programs available to anyone and everyone, as long as you show interest and talent. That's it. So our goal this year was to add at least one STEM program and add one athletic program, and we've gone above and beyond that. We're waiting on Northrop Grumman to okay our grant for the Sea Perch program, and we're almost sure that that will be approved. And so that will start up in the winter. So the money that you see being requested before you is also, in addition to those programs, you see the construction that's going on over there, and that's literally taken away any recreational space the kids ever had. I used to go over there and play football with them during recess. It was great. We can't do that anymore. There's no space. So now we have to take that time and that energy and do something useful with it. And so our tech guru was kind enough to come up with this thing called a makerspace, or the Media Innovations Lab. And we really want to make that more, because if we get the equipment that we are requesting, we're hoping that will turn into another after-school program, another way for these kids to draw their interest, direct their interest into technology and STEM, because we know that's where future job lies. And our real goal really is to create opportunities for these kids to realize that they can do it too. It's not the geeks, it's not the kids who do really well in class. There's just something about, if you have a knick-knack and the ability to build and the curiosity, that this opportunity is out there for you. So, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone have questions? Sam.
So I am very involved in the arts. I do drama at my school. I do chorus. I'm also very active in my art class. I was wondering, are there any art related programs?
Yep. Well, in this requisition, it's also in the makerspace is area for duct tape, which I don't know about your school, but it's very popular with both the boys and the girls, because they've learned how to do a lot of crafty things with the duct tape. They make headbands, they've made pouches and purses, and you'd be surprised how popular it is, because we also use it as a positive behavior intervention system, PBIS program. And so the kids actually make them and then make them available to other kids that they can use as a reward. So that's how we've also tried to open that space up to the crafty folks. But you didn't see the requisition, and part of that requisition also involves a 3D printer. So again, to sort of bridge that gap for those kids to access their artsy side, but then hook it into the technology. So that's how we're trying to appeal to our diverse population.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we approve a donation of $500 to Wilde Lake Middle School for these programs to see. There was the whole list that everyone saw, and report back and request that they report back to us as to what they do. So any other motion is that we give, that we donate $500 to Wilde Lake Middle School PTA.
All right, there's been a motion. Is there a second?
Yeah, a second.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No. All right.
Easiest $500 you just got.
Yes, fine.
I just wanted to add that, so you see the requisition in front of you, clearly $500 is not enough. So we're not gonna give up here. Of course, we're hitting up all our other wonderful village boards, but also we're creating community partners in hopes that they will also then supplement as well. So don't worry, we will get this money.
Well,
Bits and parts everywhere, but we will.
Just to let you know, Jeff is our educational representative,
I see.
and he is putting together a committee that embedded in community in all different realms of education. And I think in the near future, you'll be hearing back from him and his team.
She was the first PTA president.
Try to find more ways.
5
that we can
minutes,
inter-
he emailed me, I'm in there.
Excellent,
We would love to have like a homework, I've looked at all the other middle schools and it's, for lack of a better word, it's just wrong that our kids don't have the same opportunities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Nice to meet everyone.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming to the
I
meeting.
was over for Go Bold, Go Blue last year.
Go Blue, I'm being recorded, so I shouldn't say what I.
Oh.
No, I think the money will be better spent this year.
Are you all looking at grant opportunities as well as fundraising?
Yes.
And, I know you mentioned Northrop Grumman, but I'm very familiar with funding environmental education type funding and
Oh, that would
science
be great.
education. So we can connect, and I can send resources your way.
I will definitely follow up with you. Thank you.
So in terms of parent volunteer, I know I have my 13-year-old, he goes to Wilde Middle School. I think he told me he's trying to join a soccer team. I think it's the first time they've formed a soccer team, if I'm right.
That's not official yet.
Yeah, so I was shocked when he told me that because I started playing soccer when I was 5, and for him to tell me it was just creating a soccer team at his age, so I was like, wow. So I don't know if you need volunteer parent to chime in and help you. I mean, soccer and stuff. I'm willing to help. I mean,
He coaches a adult league.
yeah, I do play. I play for competitive team, and we play in the Howard County soccer league every Friday nights and stuff. Like I said, I've been playing soccer since I was 5.
Right.
Travel around. So, yeah. I mean, it I was disheartened when he told me they were just forming a soccer team. So.
And that's the disparity that you see here is that unfortunately, I grew up in Pennsylvania where sports, middle school sports, there is nothing for these kids in terms of building team spirit, belonging. Middle school is this gap, this 3-year gap here, because you don't get this long-term time to bond, to create any spirit or any collegiality. So the kids sort of move through and say, let's just get to high school and, you know, and that's what we have here.
Everything you have, every team, his school has every team, and he has school spirit.
Right.
Every team,
That's-
he has every team.
And you'll see.
Dunlogan Middle School.
Yeah, well,
They have
Dunlogan,
complete
Bonnie
everything.
Branch, Clarksville, but that apparently has to do a lot with the ability. Our middle schools here in Howard County, I think, don't provide as part of the school because, my personal opinion, the parents are well off enough that my kids
The
have been playing
teachers-
soccer since they were 5.
Oh, yeah.
They're on travel teams.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no school
But-
team
but
because
there
all
is
the
a
kids
school-
are already
there is a
playing
school
somewhere else.
team. Ma'am, there's a school team, and it's because the staff is
That's right.
volunteering their time.
Mhm.
It's not the parent.
Right.
I'm just saying, every single department, if they don't have a staff person, then they can't have it.
Right.
So
where do you guys compete though? See, that they have to belong to a league that really.
I'm not personally involved in the sport, so I don't know exactly where they compete. But I know like on the social medias like Instagram, they have their own Instagram pages and they're posting like, oh, we just won this game, yay.
Yeah, you see, because I found out, for instance, Clarksville, Harper's Choice, they all say that they have a school team, but in reality, it's not associated with the school. They have a staff member
It's a
that
staff,
allows
right.
them to use the school facility but they belong to a nonprofit league like HYCP. But it's not, I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I know, it
that.
might be, I just know that there is a staff person, they have to have at least one staff,
Right.
and then there might be parents also.
But see, that allows them, see, that's that little, like say, to use school space. It gives them priority to use that school space.
So is there
Right now-
staff at your school, any staff that will step up to lead any of these things?
We did for the math team, we got someone to do that. So it's a slow process.
slow,
This
right.
is a rebuilding.
Yes.
You have to understand
Can be
that we
overwhelming.
got a new principal after many years of advocating. We finally got a new principal. So it's rebuilding.
Exciting time now, yes.
All I can say is it's like a breath of fresh air and there's hope.
Yes, yeah.
Do you do a shadowing mentor program for the kids? Kids that are interested in information technology and stuff, to go and shadow someone to see what it's like to.
At this
work in
moment, the only
real
thing they have is career day. And even then, we are working hard to make career day mean something more. I have pretty strong feelings about a lot of things, so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm available if you need help and stuff, because I went to UMBC and I worked at the VA. Worked at the VA for 7 years. While I was there for 7 years, the career center at UMBC was sent student to me, the VA, to shadow me, to see what it's like working in the real world, like things I do, stuff. It was helpful to the student because, I understood where it came from. Most students, this first, second year, they're undecided. They don't know what to do, what they want to do, which major, what to major in and stuff. So they're switching from major to major and stuff. So seeing someone that actually major in what you're trying to do and see them work in the real world, try to give them a sense of direction and stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely, but right now, I would say career day is in May.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, we can always be better.
Well, thank you very much for coming out today, Bob.
I really appreciate it.
I'm a past BSAP counselor, so I am very aware of what has happened. We definitely are looking to do more outreach with Wilde Lake Middle. Part of my report later on is on the construction project and what's going on over there, and our involvement there. But we definitely recognize the reciprocal relationship that we have, and we definitely want to expand upon it.
Great.
Any questions for Bob before I change over? All right, next is.
They're lucky to have you.
Next is Kristen and the manager. I'm more than welcome to stay, just in case.
I will, thank you.
It's a pleasure. You leave? Take care, guys. It's a pleasure.
I don't really have much to add. Today was the first day that tickets for breakfast with Santa went on sale. We had people literally walking in the door the moment they were opened.
They recognize that.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
What is that, by the way?
Our breakfast and more with Santa.
What happened? Not.
Yeah.
Like what part does it have like pancakes and somebody in a Santa costume?
We have a very special program here because we have the theater. So we have actually two seatings. One is breakfast, one is lunch. For breakfast, you get muffins and yogurt, and lunch is pizza. But yeah, you come and you eat your meal. And Santa comes and visits while you're eating your meal. And then, what does he come and visit? Yeah, he does.
Are they still doing the movies or no?
Yes, and then Santa comes out, he leads the group in singing, is it
The night before
The night
Christmas.
before Christmas. And then he has old-fashioned cartoons.
Like the old Mickey Mouse,
Real,
the real old
and,
one.
We were here last year. It was fun here.
Yeah, Santa.
And we have the
I'm telling you,
secret shop
right,
where the
for-
kids can go in and buy little gifts and
No,
wrap
I don't
them.
know if parents are allowed.
But it's a small opening, so it's going.
Elves and the secret shop to help them.
Right, and we wrap the gifts for them, and the vendors, everything is $5 or less. So then they get it all wrapped with gift tags, and then they.
But the stage is decorated beautifully. We take the day before and just transform the place. It really is wonderful.
And there's also
Santa's fantastic. Of
picture
course,
of
you wait
Santa.
in line to get your picture.
There's a picture with Santa,
yeah,
right?
the
They
end
get
of
their
the
photo
movie, so
taken.
there are two long lines. And
Right. You should come just to
It's
see
fun,
what
though.
it is.
It's fun.
Your kids would love it.
They might, I mean, they don't, actually, they do know who Santa is here.
Well, I just
Jewish,
have to
but-
tell you, so my children we didn't do Santa in our house, okay? But a friend of mine invited me to come. She brought her children here. She come, all right, we'll come, we'll eat some breakfast, whatever, it'll be fine. My kids are still to this day. They're in college, right? Think that was the real Santa. I am not kidding. He is the real Santa.
He's quite remarkable.
The urine is real, it's not one of those.
No, it's not a real beard. But he
says
gets,
some things to them and
he
they
gets
were-
into character. He gets into a character and he just mesmerizes the kids. They just, they believe it. They
Okay.
just
I'll
believe it.
consider it. We did buy tickets to the Halloween puppet show,
Oh,
and both my
they're
kids got
fantastic.
strep throat.
Aw.
It was just a cold, baby, you still come, and it was like straight up, they had strep and rashes all over their body.
Well, if you would like to come, get your tickets
Get
early,
them.
tell your
Yeah.
friends to come and soon.
It's enjoyable. It's nice.
What's the date?
December,
5th, I think it's the first Saturday in December.
Okay.
it's either the 5th or the 6th, I never
Yeah.
remember.
5th, we meet for
The
Saturday.
5th. That's right, because I have something on the 6th, that's right.
Anything else, Kristen?
No, unless anybody has questions for me.
Anything on Kristen's report or anything going on? By the way, Carol had an incredible showing yesterday at the art
Oh, the
reception.
Baltimore watercolor, yeah.
Very nice. It was a very nice attendance. Both rooms were packed, folks. And they had a giveaway. That was pretty neat.
Yeah, they gave them awards,
That's it.
right.
Award.
They had a judging, a person came in and judged all of the paintings and awarded first, second, and third place honorable mention, which to them means a lot. I mean, because they're being judged by a peer, so it's,
Is this one of the two? No.
yeah, the one that
It's the
has,
second
right.
place.
Mhm.
How many different artists?
I think there's like, either somewhere between 35 and 40.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, each one has one piece.
Yes.
Oh, yes, these are adults.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
You was asking if they were students.
No, these are juried artists.
Yeah.
They're,
I just keep looking at that picture,
That's just
and
amazing.
I'm like.
it's amazing. Well, I learned yesterday that they now describe it as water media, which includes acrylics, because it's water-based. So it's not strictly the traditional watercolors.
It's amazing.
It is. And I had one of the artists yesterday approach me and said, you've been looking at that picture for a long time. He said, if it's the price you're concerned about, I have a process that I can go through with you. And it's a copy, but it's copied onto watercolor background. So you'll still have the texture and everything, but it's just been printed onto the paper. Really amazing what they can do now.
Is it half price?
It went from 900 to 450, right? It's like, okay, we'll see. Anyway, anything else for Kristen? All right, well, thank you, Kristen, I appreciate it for all you do. The board chair report is next. I'll try to be brief. Let's see. I wanted to give everyone an update on Wilde Lake Middle School, the pathway. It's something that we have been advocating for the last 3 years. We've done a tremendous job. This particular document is front and back. Oh, here, pass that one. There should be enough for the audience also. But the front page, the color is a picture of the middle school. And then at the very bottom of that same page, I have highlighted in yellow a statement. And it basically reads that the community has been involved, and something that they've added to the site plan is a pathway that's going to be connecting to Little Patuxent. And this is represented with the little three eyes at the top left corner in the dark green upper left corner. If you look, there is a line that goes all the way across from Little Patuxent Parkway at the very end behind the school, and it will come along between Wilde Lake High and Wilde Lake Middle, and it will actually reach up here to the tennis club. So there will be a area where people can travel between Little Patuxent Parkway and our village center. And that, yes, ma'am.
I'm just not following.
Oh, you're not seeing?
Well, I'm just here. This is.
Oh, the dot is on
Three
the
little
top.
eyes, I guess it is.
So it's been running all along.
And it's running parallel to the dark green and the light green at the bottom here.
Is this stuff of service?
Back.
5? Is that where it stopped?
Hmm?
This is stuff.
I'm sorry, the parkway, the walkway will go all the way parallel against the trees,
Okay.
and it will continue and go through here all the way to the front, past number 4, past number 3, past number 2, and it will bottom out here at Crossbox Lane. And it will end up, people will be able to walk across the parking area to Slayton House into the back area of the swim center. Let's see, there will also be a, there's another, what do you call that? It's 3 little eyes. Right. Yeah, so there's another one off to the right side of the image, and it starts at the very, very top, and then it runs past A, past 11, past 12, and comes on the opposite side of the tennis center. And that pathway will lead residents and Howard Community College students and faculty. It will allow them to come into our village center on the opposite side of the school. So we have been promoting this for some time now. We've literally taken the executives of the businesses around the area. We have taken the community council people and the village board people, and we've literally taken walks all the way around the perimeter of Wilde Lake Middle School, all the way out to Little Patuxent, up and down, and then walked through the bushes and eventually came out. And that's what was negotiated at the Department of Planning and Zoning meetings that I've gone to. We've got this plan. And so if you flip it over on the back side.
Where is this from? Is this from a school board?
This is from the Howard County public school system. This is the Wilde Lake construction program. And to answer your question, I put together this little book, and it has a link, and it has all of this. There's the actual website, the link, and it has all of the meeting agenda items, and it has the entire construction report. And it has all the budgetary items, has all the LEED certifications for the plan, has everything that's going on.
Okay, but the link is here.
The link is on the front.
Okay.
Right here. On the back. Okay. You can pass that around to Bonnie's too, if anybody's interested. I wanted to make sure everybody had an update on some of the things that are going on there. Let's see if we can get us out of here. The next item I had was another book. I don't know if everyone knows this, but the Wilde Lake Interfaith Center is expanding. They're going to have a massive expansion coming up, and this is the packet I received in the mail. And it has all the elements of the expansion, where they're going to. It shows some projected outreach, shows their marketing plan, and then there's a personal document in here and tells me how much I have to pay to so I thought I'd share that with you.
Is that from the St. John's? Is expanding?
Their footprint is expanding.
Is this from the St. John's United Methodist?
No, this is Catholic.
So this is not the plan that was approved several years ago?
I just got this in the mail.
Who
I'm not
owns
sure.
that building?
The interface center.
That's its own separate, and they own the property around.
Yeah, the parking lot.
So they can expand.
Well,
And
they have to get,
no.
no.
It's still CA property, right?
So it's not
CA
CA property, but we have some
Architect- some
modified
architectural.
architectural control.
Right.
It's a little complicated, but they will have to come before our architectural committee before they make any changes.
So I guess their plan is to get them funding, and if there's interest from their parishioners, then they'll be able to start soliciting for the funds. Well, actually, they're soliciting for the funds, but to put it up for our panel.
Will be
Absolutely.
required to do stormwater management, I assume.
All right, let's see. I wanted to make sure everyone knew Faulkner Station Homeowners Association is going to be one of the guest speakers at their meeting on the 16th. And
Kevin,
yes,
with Patrick.
Yes.
yes,
So I
and Mary Kay.
spoke with him at length. I don't know if you want me to share, so you're up to date on.
Next.
Well, so you connected me with him and we spoke about the issue they're having with the,
I don't know anything about it.
oh,
I just connected you guys.
oh, okay. Well, he could maybe fill you in as well, but just so you know, there's between Jason Lane and whatever the street behind Jason Lane is, I can't recall off the top of my head, there's a strip of land, part of it is CA and then part of it is homeowner property. And they're having a big issue with the maintenance of the property. And so some of the CA property, the trees aren't being maintained, there's ivy growing up the trees and killing the trees. And then there's a bunch of homeowners or properties that are not being maintained. And so his hope is that if he can get CA in there to get rid of this ivy and prune the trees and make it look nice, and maybe the adjacent properties would feel compelled to take care of their properties. Now, that being said, something like 50% are renters. So that's another issue, but I did speak with Sean Harbaugh, and they did some work with Patrick last year. So Sean's gonna get back to me and kind of see where things stand, and we may have a meeting. I might help facilitate a meeting between Sean and Patrick to go out and look at the property
Oh, nice.
and discuss what CA could do to kind of clean up there. And I did stop by there today actually and just take a peek, and there is ivy everywhere. So just so you know that might come up.
Okay, so it's being handled. So it's, at this point, I'm going to be having coffee with the Wilde Village tenants on the 17th at 10 a.m. over at Bagel Bin. Let's see, what else do I have? There's exterior work. We've had the Laughlin Management Group and Steve Antonson. His crew is working on the corner building, Catter Corner from Howard County College or University, Community College. They are working on the red brick building, that's that centerpiece that's sort of blocking our residents to make that direct beeline over to Howard Community College. And so that building, they have it undergoing a lot of exterior work, and they're trying to beautify it. So that's going to help. gather people and get their attention to come across the street and see what's behind there. So hopefully we'll get some signage out of that also. I know at one point in time I had talked to Open Space about better signage to show how community college individuals can come over to Wilde Lake from there. So hopefully we're going to keep up with that, and that'll come. Let's see, anything else? Rhoda wanted me to remind everyone about Ghana Fest on the 8th, November 8th. That's coming up very, very shortly. That's here at Slayton House. Anything else? That is it. All right. Member comments. Willa? Bess? All right. Any other questions from the audience before we close the meeting this evening? No? All right. Well, thank you very much. I'd like a motion for adjournment, please. All right. Do I have a second? Meeting's officially closed. Thank you very much for everyone coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Oh, here.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
I know.
I bring all.